we're going to go ahead and move into the positives. And there are so many positives, but we're going to try to nail it down and not, talk too much about our guys. I'm going to start off, and I'm going to start off with third down. We have been talking about that all year long.
You love this stat.
Yeah. We've been talking about it all year long about how we cannot stay on daggone field, and our defense continually is having to come in there and save us. That first half, oh my goodness, we were 10 of our first 13 third downs, and we continually kept drives going. But the other part about that, 13 first downs, that means, we're having 13 opportunities to continue these, continue the drives, and we're being efficient, we're being successful. Now, at the end of the day, we were 12 of 21 overall, and that second half, we weren't so lucky. You run 2 daggone screens, in a row. It's like, what are you doing? So just when I'm ready to shout out the play call, and then I'm back on there like, come on now. So, but us being efficient in that offense, kept our offense on the field, kept them off the field. And, I mean, look, it's what we needed. And when we did not get it, one of those times we went for it on fourth, and we're able to convert that. Those 1 and 2 and 3, those short yardage plays have been a problem for us for a while. Yes. Having Robinson back, and even Gibson, and Curtis Samuel, that jet sweep where Curtis Samuel got it and ran right up the gut. We're able to pick up the short yardage. And I know it does not always seem like the huge thing, but it is absolutely imperative that we continue to do that. And we've been more efficient in those situations. So I'm loving that, especially doing it on third down, continuing drives as one of my positives, Will. What you think?
Yeah. So since we're kind of talking about third downs, we're talking about offense. I'm going to stay in offense here. I'm going to start off with, and we've kind of already mentioned those, but I'm going to give Scott Turner some credit. Yes. I'm going to say that he dialed up a really good game plan. Now, I will also say, you and I were talking about it in the second half when also it's like, whoa, what happened to this great game plan?
Exactly.
We fell off the wagon here. But the first half, and then we came back to it in the fourth quarter, the scheme was set up for success.
Yes.
All right. They had routes going that were quick for Taylor to make a decision on, and he was thriving in it. We were using the running game to get us third and short, and that, as I kind of already mentioned, made it very manageable for us, and it changed the whole complexion of the game. The other thing they were doing, and I heard this afterwards, is we were running a lot of empty sets, and what they were saying is that forces Taylor to make a decision and go with it. Yeah. As opposed to when he's got a running back back there to block him, he can hold on to it or just kind of look around or throw it where he really can't. Right. And so it's like if you place him, if you have empty sets and he starts feeling the pressure, he's going to get it to someone shorter where he can be more successful. So my very first positive is going to be the offensive scheme that Scott Turner put together. I thought I've been asking for this all dang season. Yeah. Short, quick passes, lots of slants, and we kept doing it. And guess what? They were open.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my first good positive. I got a lot, so I want to go back and forth.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. and like you said, for those passes to be open, we had to do the running game. What have I been nailing? I looked in my car for my high school jersey. I was going to throw my high school jersey on because I want to run in this offense. Like you mentioned Scott Turner, he was dedicated to running the ball. We had 49 total carries, Will. Come on, man. 49 total carries.
26-14. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah. We decided we are going to run the damn ball right down their throats, and we continued to do it over and over. Well, I sent y'all that message in the group chat when Brian Robinson sticks his arm out into that end zone. I mean, I was losing it. I was sitting there. Are you serious? He is a grown damn man. He was playing out of his mind in that game. Mm-hmm. He having those 26 carries and 86 yards on the ground, but they were tough yards. Yes, well, and it's funny because B mentioned the post game report asked him, are you feeling like or no, that Santana asked him, are you trying to get that one? Are you mad that you haven't got that one big long run? He's like, it's gonna come, it's gonna come. But these 2 and 3 yard runs that we're getting, or these 5 or 6 yards on like first down, we're staying ahead of the chains and getting the third and short. That's complimentary football. That's helping, like you said, Taylor Heineke. That's helping Scott Turner because now, okay, I can call some plays now. I don't have to sit here and dial something up on 3rd and 20. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that running game was absolutely. I'm telling you, it is helping. It's a catalyst to getting the offense started, to getting everything else going. One of the things that we did in that is almost every play. I talked about this before. We motioned. It wasn't as much motioning into the backfield as much as it was just coming right through, right underneath, right in front of the quarterback, and the quarterback would snap it. And the fact that right there holds the linebackers. That right there, now either they're drifting or they're getting, okay, what's going on? What's going on? So we're making plays off of that. And it's like every single play is happening, and they were froze. They were mesmerized by it. You know what I mean? And that's opening up the holes for our guys. So that running game absolutely did what it needed to do. I'm so excited and elated to do it that way. That brought back the memories of Rigo. Like, fire up that diesel. Right. You know what I mean? That had me like, let's go. That's what Washington football is. So I love that. Shout out to the running backs. Shout out to Scott Turner for trusting them and having confidence in them to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, they just, like you said, they ran hard. They ran, they sought contact out. There were times where there was not a running lane, but they figured out how to get 4, 5, 6 yards out of it, and they just pounded into the Philly defenders and bruised them up. It was great. Yeah. My next offensive positive is our passing game.
Yeah.
Guess what we did in this game? We got the ball to Terry McLaurin early. Yep. How often have the whole DC area been asking, why don't we throw to Terry 5 times in the first half? Well, guess what? He did. And Terry caught a bunch of third downs too, or had a bunch of catches that converted for first downs. He helped us move the chains a ton. 8 catches for 128 yards. Big day from Terry. Big day. And then Taylor got the rest of the offense involved. We had 5 catches from other receivers out there. So he just spread the ball around. We were worried that they would kind of shut down Terry, and then what else would he do? And he just kept finding the guy who was open. It was a great – Heineke had a good game. He didn't have a great game, but he had a good game. 17 of 29 for 211. So he was managing it pretty well. He kept his mistakes down to a minimum pretty much, besides a bad throw that we'll talk about. But he was kind of playing within himself, and that's what we needed there. So I very much enjoyed the passing offense during that game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. My dear Catherine.
Oh, my.
I'd like to chime in.
What is happening?
With her positive, my wine I am drinking matches Washington's team colors. May need to make Wednesday's Wine Wednesday with Let's Talk Football. Washington Commanders.
I have a feeling she's going to make a guest appearance in the background here.
I can see it happening. Just no more chains, Catherine. No more chains. If you saw the Swintons Unfiltered on Sunday, she gave me all these Mardi Gras chains, and it's like, oh, just like Kirk Cousins, you like that? Exactly. That was my face exactly, Will. Just like, why are you doing this?
Has she seen the video yet?
Oh, yes. She's definitely seen it. Oh, my goodness.
Good. How Heineke, we got our own little bit.
Yo, so my work now, I'm going to switch to the defense. You said the entire defense. I got to go, Benjamin St. Just. Well, I mean, we've talked about it. Alex, I think I saw him. He might be in here in the comments or watching. We talked about how they've been adjusting and they put him on the big guy. They put him on A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown had 1 catch for 7 yards. They shut him down. A lot of that he was not on the field, but when he was on the field, you have that one comeback right before halftime where he slips and falls. You have another one where he catches it, and I think Fuller hits him and jars it loose. You know, we shut him down, and Benjamin St. Juice was on him most of the game and did that. Then we talk about the time when he forced the fumble after Watkins, catches it and gets up. That's not quitting on the play. They were beat considerably.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he continued to fight, continued to go for that play. Benjamin St. Juice, Jamin Davis, I mentioned him earlier. He was playing out of his mind. That D line, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat. Anthony was talking about that in the comments. Sweat getting in for that tackle. Our D line, I mean, for the most of this game, was shutting down the run and getting into Jalen Hurts' head. I mean, after the first two drives where they drove down considerably easy on it. So, after that, and once they started getting cold, I mean, that entire defense, defense took a step up, and that offense they weren't ready. They didn't stand up to the challenge. Like, we really took it to them, and I love that. But Benjamin St. Juice, Jamin Davis, those guys were two guys that kind of stepped out, where it was kind of like two of the things that we've been most concerned with was our linebackers and our secondary. Our linebackers, led by Jamin Davis, played great. Our secondary, all of them came out. They're communicating, they're talking, they're working together. We got Forrest making plays, St. Juice dominating. We talking about McCain went out. Reeves, all these different guys are getting in here, and Fuller even coming in, like you were talking about. So that defense is, I'm telling you, like, I can't, rant and rave about them enough. We talked about them being bend but don't break earlier in the year. Now they're kind of getting to that point, like we talked about, like hungry, like you don't want to see us. You know what I mean? Especially with these next couple weeks where we can really start to impose our will. You don't want to see us, and I like that. Those Redskins teams that we love, and even to the 2020 year, the football team, the defense, and imposed its will. You had to prepare, game plan how to try to slow it down. It's what Dallas's defense was at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year.
I see that. No, it's the stuff that when I would watch like the Ravens and Steelers, I'd get all excited and jealous.
Yeah.
Watching them play in the for the last 20 years, because like you said, the defense would lead the team. Yeah, I mean they continue to improve, and the reason why they're not more known is because they don't generate a lot of turnovers.
Right.
But they've been playing very well for the last several weeks now, to the point where like we all thought we were going to have new coaching staff next year. I don't think you're firing Jack Del Rio. A lot can change between now and the end of the season, but I think he's sticking around another year. And the criticism, like I said, saying, I don't know if he can figure out the new NFL. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it just took some time and getting things going. The positives, we did have those turnovers, and we'll get into how they happened too, or how fortunate we were. But regardless, we needed those plays. We needed that fumble by Watkins because we just got burned deep. Yeah. We needed that ball. We needed the face mask to stop him to jar the ball loose, so that we were able to to get the ball back, because we didn't need them given the chance there. So it was great. We needed that pick because they ran that play again on us.
Yeah.
They caught it last year in last game. This time we made the interception, but the whole defense. You did a great job highlighting some of the players, and I just want to talk about each level and what they're able to do. The fact that we held Hurts, we talked about already, to just over 200 yards total. Miles Sanders had 54 yards rushing, but they were mostly in the second half when they got this going. And don't forget, this is the same team, the Eagles team, this vaunted offensive line, and that led the league in rushing last year and couldn't be stopped rushing, and we held them to 54 yards.
Yep.
And then we go back to the weapons they have at the positions that could really hurt us. I mean, Dallas Goddard, yes, he caught a touchdown pass, but 3 catches for 23 yards, shutting him down.
Right.
A.J. Brown, he was hurt. Something's up with him with his leg in the game, but 1 catch for 7 yards, shut down. Yep. All right. Devontae Smith, 6 catches, decent amount, but for under 40 yards, you didn't get hit deep by him. Shut him down. So all 3 phases of the defense, all 3 levels were working together to control that passing attack, and they did a great job.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. um, yeah, and one of the things that we talk about, with that offense, defense, special teams, a three-phase game, complementary football, and look, when our offense stalled, our special teams showed up in many ways, and I want to. And we have to start with Joey Sly.
Oh my
We
gosh,
have to
yeah.
start with Joey Sly because when we
Holy
came,
smokes.
I'm going to tell you something. When they sat there and said they were sending him out to kick a 58-yard field goal,
Yep.
I was like, okay,
What?
that's where we're at. We're that desperate right now. Like we don't even care. Like a 58, like I didn't even think he had that kind of leg.
Me neither.
And to see him drill that, and you're just like, that's one of those moments where you're like, wait a minute. Ain't no way, the football guys are going to let him hit that kind of field goal in Philly and we win and we lose the game. You know what I mean? That's not going to be some crazy footnote. It was just amazing. And the timing, we were able to do it. But I also think, even though it was just a field goal, that sent the confidence to the team like, woo, okay. You see, he just did that? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. That charged us up. And more importantly, it was points. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a drive that we had to punt to them. It wasn't a drive that we had to give to them. And that was great. And he did it twice. 2 field goals of over 50 yards and getting 4 altogether. He was 4 for 4 and then also 2 for 2 on extra points. Let's go. We absolutely needed that. And then along with that, you have the rest of the special teams. And here's the best part of this. I've talked about all year how Tressway has more punt yards than our quarterbacks have throw yards. Sometimes more punt yards than our whole team has total yards. You know what I mean? And it's embarrassing, but he is that great. So, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm going to say something. This was my favorite game of his punting. You know why? He had 2 punts for under 100 yards. Come on now. And to show how great he still is, that punt still was inside the 20. Or one of it was inside the 20. It was a 50-yarder. One of those was inside 20 for 50. So I'm telling you, man, like our special teams showed up, man. And going along with Tressway is our holder. He's our holder for our field goals. Mm-hmm. If you watched on, I believe it was a 58-yarder, that was a high snap. Oh. In that cold weather, Tressway catches it, brings it down, secures it, spins it, just in time for the kick. It's the little things that really had to come together for that game to happen. Then we know about the kick return. They didn't have, they only had 2 kick return, or only 1 kick return that we got. Gibson, it was 14 yards. Dax Millen had 1 punt return that he took back. But one of the things that Coach Rivera was talking about is that, there's some players that are on here that might not get as much notoriety, but are definitely showing up on the special teams, on the kick return. Jeremy Reeves, he said, was a gunner down there. Percy Butler, Kaliki Hudson, the guy from Michigan. These guys are, they might not show up really on the stat sheet as much, but those are integral parts of that special teams that are really like the unsung heroes.
You're playing a role.
Right. And so these are the things like, another guy, the guy we drafted from Oklahoma State, Holmes, Christian Holmes. He said he's playing big on that. So these are the things, that's how you get winning football. When everybody is contributing, little or big, the role, no matter what the role is, everybody's contributing to the effort, to the win. And it was a perfect thing, man. So special teams definitely helped out, and I absolutely love that. You got any more positives?
Well, about your special teams, the 2 things is, you talk about those unsung heroes and the fact that their big plays can set up momentum and emotions when they make it. Because if it's a situation where we're punting the ball away, but you get a big stop or a big hit, now, the defense is coming on the field. Everyone's a little bit more hyped, a little bit more excited. That can keep your team going. The other thing I saw is it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. I'm pretty sure it might have been the first kickoff return of the game? Gibson took the ball out to the 40-yard line, but we had a penalty and he had to come all the way back.
Yep.
So what I'm seeing from Gibson now, if you're within a yard or two, even in the end zone, don't let that ball go over your head.
Right.
Catch it and go.
Right.
Because
Right.
he's really turning into something as a kick returner. Where remember before we were talking about how teams were they would try and kick it to the 1 because Dax Milne couldn't even get it to the 15.
Yeah.
Now Gibson can get it, and he's a load to bring down. He's got speed. He knows how to run and find some lanes, and he can get you to the 20, the 25, the 30, further. So we're consistently starting past the 25 when he's given a chance. So we need more of that.
Yeah. Absolutely, and he looks comfortable in that role because
Yes.
you're starting to put him into the role that he was when he was in college. He was that kind of kick returner, special team star, wide receiver. They throw him in the backfield, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and that was the threat that he posed to defenses. He was a little bit of everything, and he's starting to do that more now, and I love that. I love that. So. Definitely. You have any more positives?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
You good? Yep. So hey, that was it, man, and I loved it, man. These guys, I mean, they just every facet they were hitting it. This is a fun one to talk.
This
about,
was a good win. It's proud to be a Commanders fan.
Right. It's with all that nonsense that we have and all that drama. Everybody before this game was talking about, oh man, the front office and all the DC attorneys and Snyder and yada yada. This was like, shh, we just want to play football.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're here to play football. Let's go. So now we are still very honest fans. So we are going to give you our negatives because there were some negatives in this game. Yep. Will, I'm going to start with that second half offense. We talked about Scott Turner doing so great in the first half. And then that second half, I don't know what happened. I think he went back to whatever garbage he was calling in the beginning of the season because it just didn't look right. It just some of the play calls, the screens that we were doing, it wasn't together. And I mentioned to you on the one time the one third down on one of the, I think the first or the second drive of the second half where he goes to a screen that gets blown up to the running back and then goes to a tight end screen on third and long,
back-to-back screens,
and it's like what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was frustrating, to say the least. But they went away from the run. They went away from the run, and they went into doing kind of some other gimmicky stuff. It just wasn't necessary. And I kept yelling at the screen like, you don't have to do this. Just do what's working. What are we talking about? It's working. And now you have that gap where it was 10 of 13 in the first half, but now we're starting to miss third downs and give them the ball back, give them more opportunities. Not to mention that little interception a quarterback wanted to throw. But Will, man, that second half offense, man, it gave me a headache, man.
Absolutely. Yes, it did. It got us frustrated because we're just like, we've got this momentum. We were moving the ball. What are we doing out here? Yeah. But speaking of that interception, all right, good segue. So it was another bad interception.
Yes.
And there were two things that happened there. In my opinion, it was making a throw that he probably doesn't have. That's probably not in his bag to make that type of throw. But the other part about it was, like, Troy Aikman diagnosed this earlier in the game. Mm-hmm. He said it when he threw it. He tried it earlier in the game, and Gardner Johnson came over and knocked the ball out, and so he made a play on it. And he said, "Listen, he's playing in the middle of the field." And Heineke's not even looking him off at all when he makes that throw to Terry. And if Troy saw that as the broadcaster and then they went back to it, how is no one else talking to him about this?
Right.
It's just that was not a good play at all. And then even Troy said it on I think it was a play. I think it was a play in the first quarter where it was a third down play to Curtis Samuel, and he just threw it too short instead of throwing it towards the sideline. Again, it's kind of talking about arm strength that there's just certain plays out there that he doesn't have, and he still tries it. And that was just a bad interception from him. But that's what you're going to get with Heineke.
Yeah. Yep.
The other thing I thought about, so we keep praising our running game. All right. But I want us to have a little bit of a reality check because I don't think our offensive line played all that great out there. Right. I love the camera that ESPN kept showing us, given the bird's eye view. And what was crazy about it was it's not like we were blowing them off the ball.
No.
It really was a situation where like Gibson and Robinson were looking for a little space and then just getting hit and going for it.
Yeah.
Like, there was a run for first down where Gibson just ran straight right into our offensive lineman and just kept pushing them. And I'm like, there was a hole to the left and you didn't take it. You just said, F it, I'm going up the gut.
Yeah.
I'm going to run into the person. Whoever's in front of me, I'm running into them. You know, so I want us to kind of temper, like, the offensive line wasn't improved.
Yeah.
But we were able to get some running play. And then the last one that I'll talk about on offense is just the whole time of possession stat. I mean, I was sitting here in the fourth quarter. Let's be honest. We gained them in yardage and in time of possession. We doubled them up. And at one point, it was 23-21.
Yeah.
And they had the ball, you know, and then it became 26-21. And they've got the ball again with a chance to take the lead and potentially win the game. So it's like I was sitting there going, the most Washington thing to happen, Redskins football team commanders, it just sticks with our team, is to have some type of BS loss like that, where we outgain the opponent by double, but lose at the end. And so I was sitting there going, this can't happen. This just can't happen. I can't take it.
They definitely put you through the ringer of emotions for sure. Honestly, and I mean, it starts early. Honestly, one of my negatives is another slow start. Like early in that game, we struggle. We have with the first 3 and out, and then the early penalties, and then you have the fumble, where we lose it and give them the short field, and then you're already down 7. That's one of the things we talked about, what we could not do. Because last time we played them, it was one drive, 3 and out, gave it back to them. Another drive, they scored a touchdown, 3, and we're just burying ourselves deeper and deeper. So I definitely thought that we have to get can we get a first drive, opening drive touchdown? I mean, can we sustain an opening drive like 10, 11 plays down the field, start the damn game the right way, man? Like.
But we did finally get a first quarter touchdown.
True.
We had a long drought, so maybe we're making small improvements.
We're getting closer, right? But I got to find a negative here, man.
You're right.
I'm reaching on this one.
We
right? But yeah, no. I mean, it is one of those things that I'm glad we were able to come back like that, and because I didn't have much faith after seeing those first couple drives, but it was straight. It was that dedication to run. It was getting ahead of the chains. Getting those 8-yard runs, 6-yard runs on first down. And a lot of it was, F it, I'm just going to run up in here. I'm just going to burrow my way in here and run through. And there was a couple times where it was kind of like even the defenders didn't realize he gets through and they still have their arms around him. And he's just kind of dragging them with them, man. So, I mean, hey, Robinson, he did great. And then we eventually kind of got it going. But it was kind of like our season. It just have hiccups early and get behind early, but eventually the cars get going. You got to warm it up a little bit.
It ain't pretty, but it gets the job done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So one of my negatives is on the defense, and I want to talk about these turnovers because not all 3 of those turnovers were not like they were some very good hustle plays, but they weren't like we confused the heck out of them and we got these plays. So I want to first talk about the interception by Forrest. Do you know that the ball went through his hands first?
Yeah. Brown had it.
Right. And then it popped up or somebody caught it and he snatched it from him. I'm like, that went through your hands. So it wasn't like a clean play. It wasn't he came over the top, out jumped the wide receiver to grab it or step in front of him. So that wasn't the greatest. The St. Jude's fumble, a tremendous hustle play. Yeah. But he got torched.
Yeah.
He got burned. Like you said, had the ball been a little bit further out in front of him, he could have been a touchdown. So, like I said, I'm so glad that he didn't give up on the play, but let's also not forget the fact that he was burned on that play. Yep. And then the huge missed face mask, then punched the ball out on by John Ridgway coming in. So that was a huge game changer for them, which is blessing from the officials. So while we had three turnovers and 4 overall at the last play, they weren't the best. Is all I'm trying to say. So it's like it's not something like 3 turnovers. Right. It's like, well, we did, but.
It wasn't we were taking the ball. It was more like, well, okay, well, if you're gonna give it to us, that's
exactly.
Fine. You know what I mean? So yeah, that basically is it. I mean, honestly, to your point, the secondary was another negative of mine. Just we've seen it before. We've gotten torched before, and it happened again in this game. We got lucky a couple times, even like to exactly what you were saying with him catching it right between his hands, and it's. That's something that's not seeming to get fixed. I loved how on that play, Forrest made the decision, turned, and just took off and said, "All right, this is the decision." He was definitive. He did it. He made we got lucky with the ball bouncing back up, but he did what he needed to do, and I love that. But still, it's happening more and more and more. An efficient team. Not saying the Eagles aren't necessarily efficient, but a team that is more of a threat in the passing game, more legitimate. Well, not legitimate. That's not what I'm trying to say. But you know what I'm saying. They're gonna get those. They're gonna torch us deep, and it's gonna become a problem. So definitely something that we need to look at and get going. But if your D line is getting in there, if your linebackers are making plays underneath, if you're getting in the quarterback's head and making him scramble, then most likely those things won't happen. Hopefully they won't. Right. And in this game, they did not. So,
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.